Google Pixel 8 Pro. Is it the best Pixel of the last few years? Let's find out. The look of this new Pixel bought me actually from the beginning, from the conference itself. The blue color and matte black really do a great job here. The only thing I'm missing a bit here is a matte bezels. And it seems to me that these matte bezels would fit here much better than these shiny ones. The screen also bought me at the beginning. OLED LTPO with an increased refresh rate to 120 Hz, doing very well in sunlight due to the fact that we have now a peak brightness of 2400 nits. However, outdoors the Pixel performs much better on brightness set to hard, especially on the maximum brightness, than on the adaptive brightness. And while on such a brightness set hard I didn't experience screen dimming, on adaptive brightness I did. On the other hand, the screen itself, the colors, viewing angles, the fact that it's now flat with symmetrical bezels makes a really great impressions here. Now in the Pixel 8 Pro we have changed a little face unlock. Currently third class security, the ability to authorize banking application with your face. However, this Face ID doesn't work in the dark, so in no way can this face unlocking be compared to the iPhone. Here we have an optical fingerprint scanner, so further is not the fastest finger scanner. As for the performance of this phone, Pixel works fine, it's smooth, the animations are very pleasing to the eye. On the other hand, let's remember that it's not a speed demon. Tensor G3, 20 GB of RAM and UFS 3.1. It's a shame this is not UFS 4 already this year, especially at the end of 2023. This Pixel handles okay in daily use, but can compete with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or Apple A17 Pro. In daily use it's fine. Although with me it was not without problems. I had two such situations. One was that after entering Google Photos, something happened like phone would exit my photos on his own, go to Revolut without authorization, exit to the home screen, and the situation continued until I restarted the phone. It was strange because the phone was clicking on his own what it wanted without my interferences. The second situation was when for a half a day the X app, the old Twitter, lagged so badly that there was simply no way to use it. Looking at it hurt my eyes so much that I didn't really know what was going on. In this time I think phones for €200 did better here. Then I turned out that in battery usage the Pixel store was in the first place. That was probably the cause somewhere that some error had jumped out. Restart didn't help, only turning this phone off for a long time, plugging into a charger and firing it up next day caused the problem not to recur. Other than these two situations, I haven't experienced any problems with the Pixel 8 Pro. And now the issue of overheating. The most heating will be experienced when you're shooting videos outside, taking longer photos at higher temperatures. In my case, it was 24-26 degrees outside, and that it was felt that this phone was getting warmer, and the temperature of this phone was about 37 degrees. And another situation where this phone can get warmer. This is when I reading the bus at my place between towns. The range is probably weaker and the Pixel, looking for the range much faster, catch the temperature than during such normal use. And also, of course, due to the fact that it was looking for the range somewhere, that's also when the battery can rock stronger on LTE. In addition, we now have more than 7 years of support for Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro. I will admit that it surprised me a lot when this was said at the conference, because 7 years is a long time. When we look at Pixel 4 and Pixel 8 or 8 Pro, the difference is really significant. On the other hand, as I say, we have to see how it will work in practice and how these phones in those 7 years will work, because that's really the biggest unknown. What the current Pixel still has and what 7 Pro version didn't have is, for example, a thermometer. Whereas if you just enter this thermometer app, it immediately says that this thermometer isn't for measuring body temperature in humans. That is, you can theoretically measure your body temperature, nor is it used to measure object inside. That's, for example, you cook a dinner and you can't measure what temperature the meat inside is. I bet that for most people this function is unnecessary or actually not needed at all. Well, but is it? So it needs to be mentioned. In terms of range, I don't have any big objections here. Comparing to those top phones such Samsungs or iPhones, this range is not as good as there. This is especially evident in situations like this where there is some poorer range. Call quality seems to me be improved to the Pixel 7 Pro. These calls are clearer. On the other hand, you can hear more background noises on the Pixel than, for example, on the Samsung. And it seems to me that on the Pixel, more you can hear such voices like tss, tss. They are much more audible than on the Samsung. As I said, in comparing the Samsung S23 Ultra to Pixel 8 Pro, it seems to me that these speakers here are really improved. These speakers definitely play cleaner, they play a little louder, and it's really a nice shelf when it comes to the speakers. And now the camera. I think this is one of the best cameras on the market today. But is it the best camera? I think not really. It's not the best camera, although in many places, especially when it comes to the main lens, these photos come out great. Very good HDR, not sharpening these photos too much. Very good colors, very natural. I would say then for some may even be too natural. On the other hand, is it a big improvement over the Pixel 7 Pro? I wouldn't say, because the main lens is the same and these photos come out very similar. What has changed, of course, is a wide angle, and actually this wide angle is a bit better in my opinion. There is more detail, and aperture in the telephoto is now brighter. And this telephoto this year is really great, both in these worst lighting conditions and in good light conditions. What I pay attention to is that while the colors from the wide angle and the main lens don't differ much, often this color difference is much noticeable just between 1 times and 5 times. As for the photos, here is fine in my opinion, but is it certainly not at the level of iPhone 15 Pro Max. In addition, also in some places, Pixel 8 Pro performs a little worse than, for example, Samsung S23 Ultra when it comes to cutting of hair, sharpening objects in the photo. The weakest point of this phone is, in my opinion, the selfie camera. Of course, in good lighting conditions, there is not so much difference, but in poorer conditions, often this face doesn't look very attractive. Sometimes it's too pale. It seems to me that the selfie is the weakest point of this camera overall. We also have additional features like long exposure, like action pan, where you can very nicely capture passing cars. And now the issue of macro. The big advantage of Pixel is that it sharpens at very close range. You can really get very close to the object to take a macro. Much closer than, for example, is Samsung S23 Ultra, and this is the big plus. Night photos currently are, in my opinion, some of the nicest. 8 Pro brings out details from the shadows very nicely, Sometimes in the photos there are reflections of lamp, which doesn't look very good in the photos. Flares, this had been eliminated either. On the other hand, in spite of everything, I like the colors of night photos from Pixel very much. And now we also have, in addition, those AI functions that appear in the new Pixel 8 Pro. That is options such as moving objects in the photo, improving the appearance of faces in a group photo, removing unwanted sound from the recording. And on the other hand, I'm not a person who would specially use it, while I know people that are probably fans of this solution. And for them, this is obviously some kind of a plus. And now the video. I think Google has really worked hard on this year on the video. It may not be iPhone level, but it's very close to Samsung's level. Plus, in 4K 60 frames, we can switch between lenses. The only downside is that additional stabilization is only available in full HD 30 frames. And now the battery. This is, let's be honest, the level of Pixel 7 Pro. Maybe is a little better at this point on Pixel 8 Pro. I don't have much reserve for the evening anymore, or none at all. Of course, if you would spend most time on Wi-Fi, this phone will hold much better. In the case of such a mixed cycle, of the type that I'm 6 hours on LTE, during this time I listen to music over Bluetooth, take some photos, use social media. This phone until the end of the day lasts, and actually in my case, nothing more. And now, do I recommend this Pixel? Yes, I can recommend it. This is really one of the best Pixels. On the other hand, keep in mind that it's not anyway a revolution compared to the Pixel 7 Pro, because it's simply a 7 Pro with a better screen, changed Face ID, improved speakers, and in some aspect also improved camera. But for example, you know that the main lens is the same. Last year the Pixel 7 Pro was cheaper. This year, however, the 8 Pro has become more expensive. But if someone had a watch in pre-order and managed to sell it, the price for this Pixel gets really great. In addition, I also need to mention about the 7 years of support that Google is now going to give for Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro. I think this could be a really great news for some. I think it's a really successful phone, although especially if someone is switching from Pixel 7 Pro, I think they shouldn't expect a revolution. The people who will benefit most from the change, is my opinion, are those who own Pixel 4 or Pixel 5. They will be most affected by the change to Pixel 8 Pro. On the other hand, overall, this is a very successful Pixel. I already thank you very much for this video. I invite you, of course, to my next videos, and see you.